That's awesome.
So, this is Will Knight, and we're back with another podcast, and we're doing some shopping today at a vintage store in Brooklyn, New York.
Boom.
Boom. So, introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Danny Colon, and I'm the owner and curator of Electrix Vintage, and we're in our studio and showroom right now in East Williamsburg.
Okay.
So we're off of Morgan Ave for some reference for our New Yorkers. And if not, you can Uber here from Penn Station, and it's fantastic.
Or do like I did and Uber here from LaGuardia.
Yeah, from LaGuardia. You know what? Just come right here for an appointment.
Exactly.
Why not? It's the perfect first stop.
Exactly. So, Danny, tell me, how did you get started?
Yeah, so our start was a little bit weird in comparison to where we are now.
Okay.
So we started when I was 15 years old in New Jersey. So beach town, very small. It was in Monmouth County, New Jersey,
Okay.
for some reference. And it was quarantine. I was deathly bored and had really I tried different careers. I was always pretty entrepreneurial, I guess,
Yeah.
but just no way to express that when you're 13 with no money, you know?
Right.
So it was the idea of entrepreneurship
Yes.
was always there for me. And then I started listing clothes online and doing little reworking projects and just kind of, I guess, trying to figure out what my design eye was without knowing what those words even meant. And the sale did well. So I just kept on, doing thrifting, going to estate sales, and I just fell in love with secondhand clothing and all the stories that came with that. How unique things could be, and the reward of finding that really cool item was always my biggest thing. So I guess it's just translated from there. When I was there, I opened a really, really small studio, in a basement of an office building, and that was a retail store while I was in high school. I was
Oh
you know
my
what, we're
God.
full retail, who cares? And I just went for it, and we opened a store there, and I got accepted to FIT, and it was kind of a crossroads in what I wanted to do. But I always knew I wanted to be in New York, and I couldn't sacrifice that. So I moved here, managed the store there.
Okay.
Was a nightmare of operationally, that was far too much for
You're being
the
an
time.
adult. You're being an adult
And,
at
I was
15 years
okay,
old.
now you're living alone. Now you're getting groceries for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to balance classes and then also do this and also have regular money because I wasn't, I'm not making $1 million
And balance
for
your
myself.
and balance your
Yes,
checkbook.
balance the checkbook. So it was difficult, and I just was I think the only way that this works is if I just take the leap and move it here.
Okay.
And it ended up working out so that this is better than when it was in New Jersey.
You know what's interesting is you were in New Jersey during COVID, and this was all this started, right?
Yeah.
How did your parents feel about this?
Yeah. So, my parents, it was funny because they always had this mindset with me where they were just yeah. No, absolutely. Let's just do it. Go.
Okay.
And they were always watching me have my little niche passions, and there'd be blips where I would just love
Right.
dressing up in costumes when I was little
Yeah.
and playing these characters. I loved Meet the Robinsons. So
Wow.
I would
Okay.
drag
Alright.
around the little the invention under the blanket and drag around my house, or the Polar Express. I would dress up in the robe, and then eventually it was cooking. I loved cooking, and they were be a chef, who cares? So
Nice.
I think they both have a pretty open-minded career mindset.
Yeah.
So when I was doing vintage and everything, all they were just keep doing it as long as you can graduate high school
Right.
and figure your stuff out, and it's working for you. Why not go for it? And I'm very grateful for that. They've always been such supporters for me and very, very helpful. Unfortunately not as investors, but as emotional and parental support. Absolutely.
You know what's interesting is I have to give a shout out to Khan.
Yes.
And
yes.
I was scrolling through Instagram, and he's on my feed. I'm a positive believer in him.
Yeah.
And I saw you one day walking down the street, and all of a sudden this was hey, what do you do for a living? Can I talk to you? You dress really nice.
That was a crazy day. Oh my God. I remember I was walking back to my apartment from FIT. I was leaving class, and I was on the phone with my mom talking about the New Jersey store and what I was going to do after, because it was in between when our store was going to be closed and there'd be a lull of 6 to 8 months before we got the studio. So how are we going to do anything during that time? And I was kind of of having like a career crisis on the phone. Like low key, like it was like a bad time for the interview. And he was just like, hey, what do you do for a living? And I was like, oh, I know what this is. Turn my phone off right now. I gotta lock in. I gotta hit all my points. Like, this is my one time. If this is gonna work, it just like, I have to give it like what I can. Even if, you know, he has 5 followers or 5 million, like I didn't recognize him because he's never in front of the camera.
Right.
So I don't even know what I said. I just kind of blacked out and like said words. And then he was like, okay, goodbye. No Instagram, nothing, goodbye. And then like less than a week later, I get the notification, or not even notification. I was scrolling on my Instagram like For You, and it came up on my tagged, and I was like, oh,
that's me.
That's the thing. And it was doing crazy well, and like my page started getting a lot of followers, and like it was just like this like little boost of, I think, also like motivation that I needed at the time.
You needed
100%.
You needed it.
I needed it. It was the validation that I needed. People came to the store, and like when because that was during that lull, people came to our pop-ups during that time. It was actually very helpful. Con, love you. It was a really beautiful
Con,
moment.
I love you too, like, for the introduction.
Yes. No, it was amazing, and I think it introduced a lot of people to actually like what this is, and that it's not just us like selling clothes. It's like there's like, this is like my life, and like there's so much to it.
Well, what's so interesting is I was looking at the feed, and then I was like, oh, he's a great person to interview. And then I was just like, I did some research. You know, obviously, you always want to do research, you know, to make sure it's actually true.
Legit, if it's not just like me being like poster child, but everybody else is doing everything.
And then I started looking. It's like you do pop-ups in coffee shops, pop-ups all over New York. Which is very interesting to me, because I'm in New York probably once a month, sometimes twice a month. I go to plays, I go to the theater, I spend a day in New York, or sometimes I sleep over and then I go back home. And it's or I take photos. Because I'm also a photographer. And it was just like, oh my God, I need to find this guy.
You're like, what pop-up can I find you?
Right, exactly.
Like, where do I even find your location?
So then I emailed you, and your assistant called me back, and we hit it off. But I want to know, tell the audience and our viewers, where are you at right now? Because how old are you?
I'm 20.
You're 20.
Yeah.
So from 15 to 20, what was the progression of? The biggest thing is getting a U-Haul with 10,000 pieces of clothes.
Like how that even came to be. So we at first always started with just flea markets. Like that was like the easiest barrier to entry. It was the cheapest thing to do, because it wasn't like I just had all this investor money to like throw out on stuff. So it just started from there, and we had a lot of luck in New Jersey with our flea markets, and I tried to just do independent pop-up shops in New York. Because I felt like when I came in, it was, I didn't really know how the New York flea market thing worked. Like, it's a little bit gatekept and difficult. Like, I'm not even like, it's so weird. But we eventually figured that out now. But at the time, it was just so daunting to me, and I was a little bit intimidated. So I was like, you know what? It's New York. Let's just make this like a big thing. Rent this coffee shop, rent the store, and just do the thing. And it's expensive, but it's worth the risk, and just like try.
Oh my God,
and and our first one did very well, and it was like, oh, people like that this is like an experience with the coffee shop and the brand name, and it's like making it feel like you're like in someone's living room, like shopping their closet, like making it feel like an estate sale. That's even better. So that was like kind of that initial driver of our pop-ups. And then eventually we partnered with Folk Vintage in Rhode Island. Love you, Sydney, baby. Oh my God.
Shout outs.
Genuinely, shout out, Sydney. You are the love of my life. I met her in Rhode Island, actually, because I did a pop-up in Rhode Island. My brother went to school there, so it was like, okay, perfect timing. Let me just hop over there, do a pop-up over here. And Sydney was playing around with the idea of doing pop-ups in New York. And I was like, well, what could we do? We want to do something big. She has a really big presence in Rhode Island for vintage. Like, how could we like get people to care here? And the fill-a-bag sale kind of came naturally. And she was like, oh, we can do these bales. Let's like set the whole thing up. Let's go. And it was like the craziest day of my life, or craziest 2 days of my life. It was like within the first 3-4 hours of the event, we had sold all of the clothes for the entire 2 days of the pop-up, which is like 16 hours total.
And you picked out like 10,000 pieces.
So at the time, no, we had 2,000 pounds worth of clothing. So it was these massive bales, and we were like, so what? So we had to go to, there was actually perfect timing, a store in Williamsburg closing. So we literally bought out all of their inventory that they were they were liquidating inventory, and we were like, can we buy essentially 2,000 more pounds equivalent worth of your clothing? So we had to do that. It was a crazy night. We did it literally the same day of the pop-up while it was happening. Bought that, brought it back, and it was our most successful pop-up at the time. And it was wild. So that kind of changed our business of like, wait, people like these like bigger events where it's like, oh, this is like a full day thing. Let me come, bring my friends, bring my family. It's family friendly, but you can also have fun and like drink if you want to, go to our after parties. Like, it's like, I don't know how to say it otherwise than it's like fun for the whole family, but like quite literally.
Wait a minute. You have after parties?
We do. So, okay.
Oh, I gotta come next time.
Absolutely.
I gotta come next time.
We just had, after our fashion show, we did an after party with Red Bull, but we did it at 60 LES's rooftop. This is called Make Believe. I love Make Believe. And it was so fun. They did like Red Bull flavored drinks and like this whole thing. They have balconies, which I love. Like, I need some breeze at an after party, you know. DJs were great. Shouts out. You should definitely come to our after party.
I'm coming next time.
And it was after our first fill a bag with Sydney. We went to Short Stories after, which is right next door, and we had the most fun night ever. They were like, the guys at Short Stories were like, we saw this crazy line down the block earlier. What is that? And we were like, actually, that was us. Yeah, and they hooked it up, and it was so fun. It's like those moments also are like such. Those are like the rewarding things for me, where you get to step back a little bit and be like, holy shit, that was kind of crazy. And like, it's actually kind of cool. Like, I never give myself that. So like, those are my little like, okay, yeah.
So when did you move out of your parents' house?
So I moved out for college. Okay. So I moved out originally with my friend from home at the time. Okay. So my friend Hannah had been already in New York for a year, but we'd been friends in high school and always bonded over like, she was always like my first muse. Like I always dressed her up just for fun. Whenever I had runway shows in New Jersey, which were interesting. But when I did them, it was like Hannah was always the one. I would have her come over. She'd try on everything. She just always fit everything perfectly somehow. Everything looked great on her. So she was always someone that I would dress for fun. And she was like, hey, I'm moving to New York to do like modeling and acting. Like, I have a room if you want to do that. And I was like, yeah, babe, let's figure that out. Let's go. And so I moved in with her in New York when I was 18 as a freshman at FIT. Okay. So it was like, okay, cheaper than a dorm, boom. Right. Like I'd love to live with my friend from home, and it was so easy and comfortable. And she's now who we share the studio with as well. So she has like an indie production company that we split the space, and we do all of their costume design.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you do fashion runway shows.
Yeah.
You do costume design. Mm-hmm. And you do personal design as well.
Yeah, so personal styling is a big part of our business now, yeah.
Nice. You're going to have to style me because I'm like 6'4", 230, and you know.
Actually, my favorite people to style is when, like, for me, I always ask people, and it's sometimes like a weird question to ask at first, but it's like, what are your pain points when you're shopping? But like, not just like, I hate this material. Like, no. Yeah. I have long arms. I can never find sleeves that hit my arm where I want to. Not where it should, like where I want it to. Right. So like, even those little specifications that like, when I'm shopping for you, that you get that exact thing without having to check with me or ask, is like the forefront of how I do styling. It's like, I don't care if like something's not to like my personal taste. Right. That's not the job. It's I want to make you feel the most confident, the best that you can, while also having everything done as like a concierge wardrobe manager, where like your stuff's being sold at the same time. We sell it for you. We help you buy stuff. It's like a whole like 360 world of your closet, which I love it. So it's a lot of fun.
One thing I love about New York, and I love Chicago.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
I love Chicago actually, by the way.
Okay.
It's great.
Right. One thing I love about New York is when you get off the bus, the train, Uber, taxi, you see someone crossing the street with fashion.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like They thought about what they were going to wear out of the house before they...
For 3 hours, trying different things on. Like, you can tell.
Yes.
And sometimes you can also tell when it's, like, seamless, too. You're like, oh, you just are chic. Like, as a person, you've just got it.
Yeah.
I love that. And I live downtown, and I've always lived downtown, and that's always been, like, the fashion there has influenced me so much. Even living or working out here in Brooklyn, it's like East Williamsburg is such like a... Right now, it's become like a creative hub for like these like little studios. I'm sure if you are a model or a photographer, you've worked in East Williamsburg, maybe in our building.
Yeah.
So like the photo studio rentals are cheap and people are just like trying their things. But I think those areas are like the coolest to see the upcoming fashion.
They're going to go up now. You just said that.
Yeah, I know. I know that. There's like a whole condo building being built 2 blocks from here. I'm pissed because I know my rent's going up next year. Like, oh God.
So, what's your plan? I mean, after the big sale, the $10 bag, what's next?
So we're trying to. I feel like every September I come to like a crisis mode of like, I kind of want to change everything, and I think that's because it's like so synonymous with my life.
Yeah.
Like it's just followed me throughout teenage years into now my 20s. I think that we're kind of streamlining everything that we're doing into more of a like, at least in the internally business, a more streamlined way of doing things where it's a little bit more consistent, maybe not to the audience, but for us, where we have fill-a-bag sales more often in different cities. But then we're also like, we want to build out a styling team, and I want to have a costume team. Where right now, like I say our costume department, it's like me leading with like 2 other assistants, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
And like, shouts out again. I keep on shouting people out, but like I love you guys.
That's okay, go for
but no,
it.
yeah, like my costume girls are the best. But I feel like there's so much more opportunity that we could have by really expanding this and putting in the investment and time to building that out. And I think it's really like we're such a like marketing agency in a way. Like we really act for brands, like even like, you know, our partners at Red Bull and things like that.
Yeah.
We can really activate on anything anybody wants to do if it relates to secondhand fashion, sustainability, vintage fashion. So we're able to like make an event around something or make an experience around a fun holiday or something that I'm excited to do much more intentional events next year for sure.
So one thing about Daniel, which
the government name,
the government name, which I totally was shocked about, is you pick out every piece of clothing.
Yeah, I do. To this day,
That's
since day one.
Exhausting.
It is a lot. I'm gonna be honest. It's like it's definitely the like one of the more time-consuming things, especially when it's in person and I can't like call in or something. But I think that makes it so much more special and also helps me with the styling sometimes.
Oh, totally.
You know, like seeing clothes in the environment that they were like supposed to be, like seeing a like vintage like a 60s fur coat in the like woman's closet, it really makes it like believable. Where it's like, wow, that's incredible, and now I want to make a photo shoot with a woman that looks like this, and it's so awesome. Like that's why I loved I don't know if you saw, like Gucci just has a new campaign with Demna as the creative director, and the story thing. I've been trying to do this for so long, but he did it so well. And that's kind of what I like to do with the shopping. But even, you know, when we're shopping for 100, 200, 300 pieces at a time, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
But I love it. Like seeing all of like the things. Now you start to see repeats even, which is crazy because of how much clothing is in the world. You're like, oh, I know that label. We'd have had that top before, like 3 years ago when I was in New Jersey. Like, I'll start to have recognition of some things, which is cool, but it makes me feel like I'm really learning something every time that I'm doing this. And it's not just repetition. It's like, this is like education for me. Like, it's really like a history lesson in like clothing.
So, I understand you pick out every piece of clothing, but what if you're unable to make it? Do you do like Zoom call or FaceTime with one of your employees?
Yeah, so we have a kind of like, this is like our underground network that we don't talk about too much, but I'm totally down for it. We have kind of like an estate sale management chain in New Jersey. So we do a lot of the time is contact like the main manager for the estate sales in a certain area. And this might be in New Jersey, might be in Pennsylvania, it might be in Massachusetts, it could be wherever we're shopping for. And they kind of let us know, like, hey, there's like 5 houses that have sales this weekend. We'll let you in the hour before. Come shop, do your buy, and then we'll let everybody else come.
Okay.
So that's one example. But then, it's sometimes like people will come to us and be like, I have this massive collection. Either come to my closet, I'll bring it to Brooklyn, whatever the case is. Or these people that manage these estate sales will sometimes, at the end of the estate sale, if like nobody comes or nobody buys stuff, they'll take it all into separate like storage areas, and then we shop from there.
Okay.
So it's like this, no matter what is coming from estate sales and real people, sometimes it's not necessarily in their beautiful home, and sometimes it's in like a storage unit, for example, in Fort Lee, New Jersey, or wherever the case is, But it's like, I think that network gives us so much more accessibility to like, I can call in and it's okay because I'm still able to see everything and like approve everything, and it's nothing weird is slipping through the cracks, or like I might change my mind tomorrow, but at least it was my decision that I'm like, you know what, that past Danny was wrong for that, but like it's okay, I'm learning, Yeah, I think it's just giving myself that like curation, education, and design too. It really inspires my design now.
Wow. So go from 16 to 20. What's next?
So what's next? Right now, I'm in this like phase where I love design. Like I love making vintage inspired clothing. That's like my number one. We have a side business called Cook and White where it's the cross streets of our studio here in Brooklyn. And it's based around the fact that like, it's really us making this stuff. Like we design everything. Our sweatpants were made in the garment district by my friend. I'm not gonna air him out, but like I know these women that are sewing our clothes, and like I love that.
I read that.
So I know the ladies. There's 8 of them. Like I know them.
Yes,
like it's like we've gotten to
that.
see the production, and like our fabric's vintage, which is like the whole heritage of what we do.
We're going to be doing some shopping soon.
Yes. So no, it's everything is like. I love when you are shopping for something and it's like, wow, how did you even think about the elastic that's in that? And it's like, no, I'm obsessed with that elastic because of this and this and this. So I think the future is really going to be implementing a lot more of that, try to get on a collection basis eventually. It's very expensive to do that.
Okay.
But right now we're kind of starting it as like it's an expensive passion project.
Okay.
And where it grows is where it grows. I'm looking to a store soon. I would really love to do a store. We're actually at a point where we kind of can, but it's just timing for me, where it's like, is this right for us? The temporary things tend to do really well. So like, is the store just going to be more work for the same return? It's kind of, it's that thought. So I think we're going to experiment with something like a 1-month pop-up, like a full 30 days. You can come whenever you want, see what's up, and then kind of like test market from there and just kind of play around. I would love to also expand to more areas outside of just New York City. I love doing pop-ups, in different places because then I get to travel too.
Right.
So I love that. I think next summer we're planning a very fun way that we'll be able to touch a lot of different places at the same time, which I don't want to give too much because if we don't do it, then it's like, well, but
he
right
said
now,
he was going to do it.
It's looking like May to July, 10 cities.
Okay.
Just putting a pin in that, but it's on the table, Yeah, I think it's just being able to be as creative as possible while still fulfilling the business, making everybody eat, and also like always having a purpose with it too. We're always connected to a charity back in my hometown that helps like meet unmet needs. So if somebody can't take out their trash, we have volunteers that can take out their trash for them. We fund these things to happen.
Oh, nice.
If someone can't get to work because they don't have a car, we could provide them a bike as that intermediary time to like help you not lose your mind every day while you're also struggling. Like it's like we want to help you not be kicked when you're down.
Yeah.
And it's like even that little thing can help somebody. So I think it's also expanding those initiatives and like me and my roommate were talking about throwing like a charity soccer game and like how could we do these things and like make thrift stores always have a donation incentive, like it's going to the ASPCA or it's going to Goodwill is for like just local people in the area. But I think a vintage store has no reason to not also do that. So I would love to expand that more.
All right, so I have a few more questions for you.
Sure.
You won an award where you're in. I hate to say this.
No, it's like the Global Student Entrepreneur Award winner. And it's like in New Jersey first of all. But yeah, that was a crazy few months of my life.
So how did all that take place? What led to that?
So it was December. I was in Cape May, New Jersey. I remember this so vividly because I was sitting on the couch in like whatever hotel we were in, and it was with my family for Christmas. And I was like, doing whatever work I was doing. My dad sends me from his colleague at work, because my dad, biggest supporter, sent one of his colleagues what I do. Because her kids love vintage, and she was like, let's connect you guys. That's like, my parents love that, and I love it. And they were like, oh, you should apply for this competition in New Jersey. It's perfect. It's for young entrepreneurs. You're in school. It's like, that's the whole point. It's like the student entrepreneurial aspect. And I was like, no, like, this is not a business that, like, it didn't feel like you could even, like, get investment on a business like this, or, like, prove that there's, like, a corporate value in something like this. And at the time, I just didn't see it that way. And so I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And my dad was like, you should apply. And I was like, I'm really not going to apply. And he's like, no, you really, really should apply. And I was like, fine. So I applied, and I got into the final round. Okay, like 3 days, they were like, all right, you have to go to like this random place in New Jersey, and here's like 2 like multi-millionaire mentors that are gonna like show you exactly how they did their thing and how you can. And I was like, wow, okay, like, I'm still gonna lose, but fine, like, this is stupid, this is a waste of time, I'm living in New York, I'm in finals, like, what? So then I go to the competition, I make a pitch, I'm so nervous, I felt like I did terribly, and then I won. And, like, none of my family was there because I was, like, pissed. I was like, don't come. I'm annoyed. Like, my mom came out of, like, pity, and she had to drive me back to the train station. And my dad and my brother were in Rhode Island, like, at my brother's school, like, oh, we don't care, whatever. It's like, you're not going to win. Because I was saying I'm not going to win. And then I won, and now I'm an asshole because I just won a bunch of money and have all these new, like, access to these amazing resources, and I was an asshole the entire time, just being like, I'm not gonna win, this is such a waste, why are you making me do this, it's so embarrassing. Like, I was genuinely embarrassed, and I think it was just like me not believing in myself enough. And I really, like, we ended up traveling from like Nashville, Tennessee for the next round, and we got past that to go to right outside of Toronto in Waterloo, Canada, to do another round, to like visit the Google headquarters, and like, it was this like whole treadmill of like, wait, this is actually like a business, and this is cool, and like, this is working, and people are seeing that and validating that and giving me such great advice, basically free consulting for like months. And it was incredible. I don't even think, like, there was another round that was in like, it was in Thailand for like $150,000, and I was like, that's the goal. But I didn't obviously get there, which is so fine. Like, there was actually another amazing vintage company in the competition that was making like millions more than we were and are, period. And I was like, you guys are incredible. I need to get like you. This is so smart. But it was just such like I think it was a cool experience to really feel validated in the business. Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this up. What is one thing that you want to tell the new generation?
Oh no.
How to lead.
How to lead. Leading is such a interesting thing because I have a very democratic team where we kind of all, I treat everybody, or at least I try my best to. It's up to them to decide that we all have an open opinion in the room, nothing stupid. I might call it stupid, but it's not like in my heart I'm like, you're an idiot. But we have this very like free flowing monologue of ideas all the time, and designs and concepts. And I think leading is just kind of like making sure that vision's streamlined, don't waver off too much, but leaving yourself the openness to explore new aspects and maybe not closing off to those off-kilter ideas. I think leading is just for overall, like, I know online we found like a lot of people that like love what we're doing. Like, I love meeting you people at the pop-ups and the filler bags. Like, I literally cry after, not kidding. I think that's just doing what you do proudly, openly, and loudly. Like, it's really just like, I am doing what so many people are doing, but I'm putting it on Instagram.
Okay.
Like, it's, and I'm not saying that, like, it's so simple as that, because I work every day. Like, it's not easy. Like, it's not simple and it's not easy. But I think that's just, like, unapologetically doing it and, like, doing it loudly and proudly.
All right. That's it for All About Nothing. Thank you, guys. And we're in
Brooklyn, New York, baby. Let's go. In the studio.
And I want that hair.
We'll do a transplant.
I want that hair. I want that hair. I want those curls.
Like, never. My agents are going to have a different word about that one.
Thank you guys for joining. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Amazing.